next question, I'm going to go to Felicia. So you have developed over 3,000 units in your career. Is there a certain project that sticks out to you as a very special project or that was very special for you personally?
Sure. If you will indulge me, I'll talk about two. And before I talk about two, just back to the other question that Michael was addressing. In last week's budget, the state issued a $50 million challenge for emerging developers. Right? So if you have your entity put together and you have sufficient experience, you've got an idea, the state has capital to help back you. NEF, if anybody is doing any affordable housing, that's called the National Equity Fund. The National Equity Fund also has recently issued resources to help with capital stack and guarantees, which is very, very important. Financial guarantees in the low-income housing arena. Check those guys out. Chase has programs that they've started. So it has emerged within the past 2 years within this DI space, but there are very specific, very large-scale institutional investors that are down on Wall Street, as well as municipal, federal, and state government entities that have allocated a significant amount of their resources along with our resources that they have received to help to build housing and to also help to facilitate what has been traditionally the lack of access to capital for minority developers. So those are just a couple of suggestions. But with respect to project, the two that spring to mind very, very quickly is a few years back, I was tapped to be the lead point person with a negotiation with Harvard University as they made their way into Alston. So I negotiated, along with my team, a deal where we did a 7-acre land swap. And at the end of the day, the total development cost of the project was over $100 million. There was a condo building on the river, there was affordable housing, there was replacement housing. We had to build a brand new McDonald's to a new footprint. It was a pretty large scale deal. So in terms of sort of having meaningful impact, getting that through Boston Entitlements, negotiating with Harvard, who is a very patient investor, and really just bringing the community and the nonprofit partners, which was a consortium of 5 religious organizations together to get 270 units built with open space, homeownership component. That sort of holds a special place in my heart. By the same token, a few years back, I was called by a nonprofit group, and it was a group of women who wanted to do something to begin to address the issue of the state's DCF program. While they were sort of discharging approximately 1,000 kids from foster care a year. Usually once you turn 18, it's usually a wonderful celebration. Not so much when you are in the foster care system and you turn 18. There's not very many places to go. So they called and asked for help to see what we could come up with. We ended up acquiring a building in Somerville, Mass, which now houses 15 young women who've aged out of foster care who make a commitment. You may stay in the housing development for up to 6 years if you make the commitment to pursue higher education. So it's rent-free. Most of the young women have jobs. They pay for their own, but the housing is free. No one needs to be burdened by the stress of where they're going to sleep that night. But it was a full court press and a full court effort. It was, we're Boston based. We bought a site in Somerville. Cambridge provided assistance to us. We had an architect donate their time. We had a contractor come in, give us a really good deal. And I think the benefit from that is, totally outweighs any sort of monetary compensation that we make for that. So it's the full spectrum. Big, large development deal with an institutional organization down to really hands on the ground, meeting the needs of a very specific
I love that. We're going to connect after this event. No, I have, a special project in mind as well. Not specifically for foster that community, but more of like survivors of domestic violence and human sex trafficking. So I think that's great that you were a part of that project.